Clarity is not something you chase. It is not a treasure buried beneath your thoughts, nor is it a conclusion you arrive at after wrestling with the mind. Clarity is what remains when the noise begins to unfold and you simply listen. Not to fix, not to judge, not to choose or to run, but to listen. The mind is constantly telling stories. A thought arises. Say this, do that, defend yourself, prove them wrong. It chatters endlessly like waves breaking upon the shore. And most of the time, we react without knowing that we are reacting. We move with the current of thought without realizing that we are being carried away by it. But something extraordinary happens the moment you listen wholly. When you are not trapped within a single thought but see the movement of all thoughts as they rise and fall. That moment, there is space. And in that space, clarity begins to surface. Think of a time when anger arose. The thought says, tell them off. Another says, don't let them get away with it. You feel it burning, the impulse to act, to defend, to release the energy. And then, you notice it. You notice the movement of thought saying, slap him, shout, make them feel it. The noticing itself is a miracle, because the moment you notice, you are no longer only the thought. You are the awareness of it. You are the silent witness to the mind's theater. And that awareness does not condemn, it does not agree, it simply observes. See, the mind is like a storyteller who never stops speaking. It jumps from one idea to another, always trying to make sense of itself. But the story keeps changing because the mind itself is unstable, made of memories, fears, desires, past images, and future projections. And as long as you identify yourself with that movement, you live in confusion, because you are moved by fragments that contradict each other. But when you listen, truly listen, you begin to see the entire movement. You begin to hear the tone, the rhythm, the source of these thoughts. You see how a word can trigger a memory, how a memory stirs an emotion, and how emotion fuels another thought. It's all one continuous flow. You do not need to stop the thought. Stopping it is another thought, another resistance. Instead, attend to it. Let it speak. Let it pass through your awareness like wind moving through an open field. When you do not resist, when you do not chase, the mind slowly loses its tightness. It begins to reveal its story, not piece by piece, but wholly as one continuous movement. Clarity is born in that listening, because in that state, there is no division between the observer and the observed. You are not a person separate from your thoughts. You are the awareness through which thoughts move. And awareness does not choose. It does not say, this is a good thought, I'll keep it. Or, that is a bad thought, I'll throw it away. It simply shines. Imagine sitting quietly as the mind says, I am angry. And you hear it fully, not with resistance, not with indulgence, but with total attention. You don't say, I must not be angry, nor I should express it. You simply listen. In that listening, anger reveals its entire structure, the cause, the pain, the hurt beneath it, the defense, the fear of being small or disrespected. All of it unravels. When you see the whole of it, there's no battle left. There's understanding. And that understanding dissolves the energy of anger naturally, not by force, but by insight. The observer is the observed. You and the thought are one movement, not two. The moment you say, I must control my thought, you have already divided yourself. And in division, there is conflict. Where there is conflict, there can be no clarity. But when you realize that the anger, the fear, the jealousy, the longing, they are movements within the same field of awareness, then there is no separation. You are attending to yourself completely. That attention is love, because it is whole. When the mind listens without trying to reach a conclusion, without labeling, a different kind of intelligence arises. It is not the cleverness of intellect, but the clarity of perception. You see what is as it is. You see that thought is mechanical. It is born of memory, and memory is of time. The past projecting itself into the present. So when thought says, "You must react," it's echoing an old wound. When thought says, "Protect yourself," it's echoing an old fear. But when awareness watches this movement without interference, time stops for a moment. In that gap, something timeless shines through. That is clarity. Clarity is not about control. It's not about choosing between thoughts. It's about recognizing that you are not the content of the mind. You are the vast field in which all content appears and disappears. And when you live from that realization, there's a quietness in the center of all motion. Even when the mind chatters, there's a listening that is still. Even when emotion surges, there's a presence that does not move. That is awareness. That is you. Attend to every thought that arises, not to indulge it, but to understand it. Each thought is like a wave. It rises, peaks, and fades. If you watch it fully without turning away, you see that there is no thinker apart from thought. The thinker is the thought. The observer is the observed. And in that realization, a great silence begins to unfold. That silence is not forced. It is not the silence of suppression. It is the silence that comes when the whole story has been heard, when every voice in the mind has been given the space to speak, without judgment, without censorship. Then the mind no longer needs to shout. It rests, and what remains is clarity, effortless, uncaused. In daily life, this awareness expresses as sensitivity. When someone speaks harshly, you don't react blindly. You see the movement of reaction rising. You listen to it inwardly. That seeing brings understanding. The word no longer stings in the same way because you understand the mechanism of hurt. Awareness breaks the chain between thought and action. When fear arises, you no longer drown in it. You see fear as an energy moving through you. You don't label it good or bad. You observe it fully. And the moment you observe it wholly, without resistance, the energy of fear transforms into clarity. It becomes light, awareness, intelligence. Every moment offers this opportunity to attend, to listen, to see. No technique, no mantra, no effort is needed. Just deep listening. Listening without motive. So sit with your mind as it is. Let it speak. Let it wander, let it reveal its patterns. But stay present, not as a controller, but as the silent witness. See how the mind creates division, how it builds me and you, right and wrong, then and now watch it. And as you do, the illusion of separation begins to fade. What remains is unity, not as an idea, but as a living truth. The observer and the observed are one. Thought and action are one movement. When this is seen clearly, life ceases to be a battlefield. It becomes a dance, spontaneous, fluid, intelligent. You move with awareness, not resistance. You respond, you don't react. That is the natural way of being. That is the ending of conflict within. And from that ending, clarity shines, simple, effortless, alive. So, as you move through life, when anger, desire, jealousy, fear arise, don't rush to escape or control them. Listen to them. Let them tell their story. Let them reveal their roots. In that total listening, you will see that thought, emotion, and awareness are not separate streams. They are one river, flowing endlessly. To see the river as one is clarity. And from clarity comes peace, not the peace of avoidance, but the peace of understanding. Be still, be aware, attend to all that arises. In that wholeness, you are free.